If Falstock was ever to lose its shop, I think that they would be missing a large part of the community. The post office and the shop are a great asset to the village. People come to see what's going on or who and where they are and what's happening. It's sort of 5 or 6 miles to the nearest shop back into Yeovil, and that's quite a distance for the old people to travel if they don't drive. We don't have much of a bus service, only 2 or 3 days a week. I think it would change the whole atmosphere if we weren't here. The older people especially don't want to travel on the bus, and coming to us is obviously an asset.
Yeah, I'm going to put these round the bottle of some cheese and pineapple. That would be fine for this afternoon, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. They're doing, WI's doing a little 90th party for this afternoon. So, yeah, we're off down there 2:30, and we're all going to take a little plate of something. So I decided to do, I got cheese and pineapple and cheese and grapes, all mixed together.
It's a very close-knit community. It's only between 300 and 400 people. Over the years, the village has lost most of its amenities. The village school closed down 10 or 20 years ago. The village pub closed in the last 10 years. And the village shop was the last remaining village service that the village enjoyed.
These are called peanut crackers.
Peanut crackers. I'm going to put them around the bottom of my cheese and pineapple for a 90th birthday party this afternoon. So hopefully they'll look nice.
In that case, it's 99p.
I'm Richard Fry. We've been living here in this village since 1990. We lived before that in London and moved down full-time in 1992, and very quickly got involved in village affairs when the village shop, within the first year of our arrival, closed down, and that meant that I got engaged in a village shop rescue.
Well, I just said that it can go back next week. It wouldn't take
I think they
it.
both come in at different times, anyway.
Do they?
So.
Oh, right.
Okay.
When the village shop closed in 1992, we very quickly put into action an emergency plan, which was to look for alternative premises and seek out ways of trying to raise money locally so that we could afford to initially rent alternative premises and create a new shop within what was then an old cottage. The village got together in a meeting, and it was more of a shock horror kind of mentality about, my goodness, how could this have come about? There were a lot of people who were very worried and concerned, particularly the elderly in the village who relied on the village shop, and needless to say, we have no form of public transport here in Hallstock.
We have a post office, and as far as I know, it's never been under threat. It's a good asset for the village. I mean, we could do with having more available items like car tax and things, but with eBay and that, we do a lot of parcels and things, so it keeps the post office going. And the village is an elderly people, so they use it for their pensions and things, so it would be a shame to see it go.
When people were talking about it in a meeting, it was more about the loss of the amenity of the shop itself. Clearly, in the back of everyone's mind was that the heart and soul of the village would disappear without the existence of the village shop, and the ability for people to get together, exchange information, the village notice board, items for sale, all that sort of thing was the unseen things that go on inside a village shop other than just selling of goods.
We're in the community room, come internet cafe. It's run by the charity side of the shop with volunteers. We've got the computers, and they've got broadband and everything on them and wireless, so it gets used quite a lot for emails and things. We have the room, they've got diet club, they have cards and bridge and things going on in the evenings. They come in, have a chat, have a tea and a coffee and catch up on the gossip and see if there's anything actually happening that they should know about, and they come here and find out the news, what's going on around.
There's no doubt that there is within the village a feeling of community, a feeling of self-help, and not just sit on the sidelines and fret and worry and expect someone else to deal with a particular problem. And I think we've been able to demonstrate that when faced with a problem, we're quite capable of rolling up our sleeves and get on and find a solution.
We have local bread and local chutneys and pickles. We've got cold drinks and tea and coffee. Post office.
Initially, the shop that we found was rented premises, was an old cottage, and to be honest, it wasn't an ideal shop. It didn't have a large shop window, and really it wasn't big enough to generate the sales that a shop would need to be viable long term. if Hallstock was going to retain a village shop that was going to be economically viable, then we needed new premises in a new location. To be honest, it took about 5 years to come across the right site, but eventually we came across a site which was old allotment land. We then had to set about the actual legal conveyance of the land, and of course finally the planning consent for a new village shop scheme.
My name's John Pryor, I'm the shopkeeper. For the last 7 years we've been actually in Hallstock. Before that we've done 10 years in Balfour's, which had a shop in Slough High Street. Entirely different to what we're doing now, obviously, and that was a newsagents. Before that, assistant manager at Asda's in the bakery trade.
We were very lucky in having John and Karen Pryor as the shopkeepers, who've been with us for quite a long time now, nearly 8 years. They've done a fantastic job in putting together a wonderful variety of offer in the shop, and themselves have become very popular in the village.
Just in my kind-heartedness.
I know, John.
£1 and a penny.
What would we do without you, John?
No. I haven't paid you yet.
John, we'd miss you. It's a lovely, friendly atmosphere to be able to come in. You can have a laugh and a joke, and you don't have the hustle bustle of trying to find somewhere to park.
She's married to an Essex boy as well.
I'm married to an Essex boy, you see, so
we've
he's
got
an
to stick
Essex
together.
boy. And, I mean, so I can come up here and give them the most fabulous flack when they're together. We did something wrong, Karen, didn't we? Yeah, we did something wrong. We don't know what it was, but...
You're the luckiest women in the world, that's
Oh,
all I
yeah.
can tell you. There's not many lucky as you two. It's a lot different to Slough High Street. For a start, we never saw night time when we was in Slough High Street. We always had lights straight on. Early mornings, late nights. But, obviously here it's quiet, it's a lot more peaceful, slower pace. I won't say slower people, slower pace. But a good time, in a nice relaxed atmosphere.
The actual charity that we've created, the ability for Versa to go out and help other communities, and as of today's date we've helped over 150 villages up and down the country reopen or rescue their village shops, is another way of putting something back into the rural community and helping others.
The good news, if ever we go, then always they're going to have a shop here in the village. You don't really want to think about what it'd be like without us in the village, but on the same point, that's good for the village themselves.
Can I have half ounce of cutter's choice, please?
$2.49, it's yours. It proves it can be done. If the village wants it, they can do it. I think they can do anything if they want to. Any village. You have that one back.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, John. Oh, penny change.
Oh, no. Penny for coming. So.
Lovely.
All
Cheers,
right,
John.
cheers now.
Bye.